Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Monsters Unleashed. Step in. Stand hard. No turning back. Monster Mike hits the front line. Cutting through the dark. Boots hitting the ground like he's calling something out. If the night wants to move, it moves through him first. He wants answers, and he takes them. We move in. No fear. Eyes sharp. Heart steady. We walk the dark. We hunt the unseen. We stand together and push through anything. Monsters Unleashed, coming alive tonight. Trisha hits the right flank, silent and locked in. She feels the forest breathe, hears a shift before it breaks. One glance and she knows when something's watching. Doug pushes forward like he owns the trail. Strong stride, no pause. If something's waiting, he's the one in me. We walk the dark. We hunt the unseen. We stand together and push through anything. This is the team. This is the fight. This is Monsters Unleashed, pulling the night in tighter.
We're the best there is, and I'm telling you, yes, I'm excited. Woo!
Woo! Hey, how's it going? Welcome to Monsters Unleashed. Hey, Trisha, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. How about you?
Oh, if I was doing any better, I wouldn't even be here. So are we live on all platforms now?
We are. We are live on YouTube, Twitch, and TikTok.
Oh, great. Well, we've got an interesting show tonight, so let's go ahead and try to get on with it here. Let's bring out Mr. Rock and Randy. Everybody knows Mr. Rock and Randy. Hey there, Randy.
Hey guys, what's going on? Good to see you. Great to be here as always. My two favorite people in the whole wide world. And the lady of the woods, Miss Trisha, the busiest woman I know.
Yeah, she stays pretty busy. She was in the LBL today.
I know. I heard. I heard there's a news blast when she gets over there. You know.
Yeah, well, she was down there. She was down there scaring her poor old defenseless mother.
You gotta love her for that.
Oh my God, it's after us, and she takes off running and stuff. God, I wish I'd have been.
It was a quiet day in the LBL, so I had to do something to give her a little bit of spook, so she didn't think I was crazy. It worked.
Yeah.
There you go. It's always good to screw with mom a little bit, you know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Yeah. We're going to HE double hockey sticks for this stuff.
We are.
Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do, guys. It's it's what makes the world go around. Michael, you look different tonight. Why do you look different?
I don't know. I have my Monsters Unleashed shirt on. That's about it, man.
Did you cut the beard or
no? I combed it. Yeah, that's what it was.
Because there's something different about you. I don't know what it is.
I don't know. I kind of got that glow to me. I know what it is. I'm excited. My wife bought me a DJI drone for Christmas. She ordered it today, and I'm really excited because
Well, then that's what it is, because you got a glow on you.
yeah, I've been wanting one. I gave Trisha my other drone, and I said I'll get me another one. And yeah, this is the one that I wanted, so I'm excited for it.
Oh man, praise the Lord for that,
So
guys.
I'll have it when I go to Donna's house. When we go to Donna's house this spring, I'll have it to fly over top of Donna's house and stuff, and take aerial footage and everything. It'll be pretty interesting.
You should do one of those naked shots on the lawn.
Well, that's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking. But speaking of Donna, let's bring Miss Donna out. Miss Donna, how are you?
Hello.
Donna,
That is so hilarious.
she's like, Mike, don't be laying in my yard naked, flying drones over top of you.
Hey, I could tell you a story about the state patrol and his wife, and I can't tell it on air, but
Yeah.
something very hilarious.
Well, you could.
Well, I could.
Yeah, we'll rate it TV 14 tonight. So.
Well, let's just say his wife used to like to sunbathe nude, and this elderly gentleman drove through her fence, and the state patrol that got called was her husband.
Oh Lord, I've heard some stories like that.
It was hilarious.
Yeah, I heard stories of this one deputy sheriff that got called to this hotel one night.
Oh
There was
God.
a wild party going on and everything. He goes there and he knocks on the door, and there's a bunch of people in there, and they were doing the ferocious things.
Yeah.
And it was his wife in the hotel room.
You know, it's really funny. I had a neighbor when I lived in Florida. She says, Randy, every time I look out my bedroom window, I see this naked man. I'm like, come on, Annie. She goes, no, I'm serious. So I go over to her house, and I look out the window and go, Annie, I don't see nothing. She goes, pull the dresser over. Now get on top of it. You see him now? Yeah, I see him now. You're looking in his bathroom. What the hell are you doing up on the dresser to look at this man in his bathroom?
Oh Lord.
Oh,
You guys,
God.
y'all remember what happened last night on that show, right? Y'all were talking
Yeah.
about naked people, and then we had demonic voices. So
No, I
we
don't
should
remember.
probably not talk about naked people.
But
on
listen, if everybody wants to see that video, you need to go to Channel 12 TV network and subscribe. You know, it's $9.99 a month, no contracts. If you don't like what you're getting, then you just don't pay next month.
That's right.
But,
Yeah.
And Randy, what's that link again?
It's Channel 12 TV Network dot Nowcast. It's NOWCAST, Nowcast.cc. Channel 12 TV Network dot Nowcast.cc. And I'll tell you what, we were all freaked out last night.
Yeah,
That was really freaky.
it was
It was.
crazy. But you can go there. You can watch our show there also. We have a separate show for there. It's one that you won't catch on YouTube. You won't catch it on TikTok. You won't catch it on Twitch. That show is recorded only for Channel 12. And we had a very interesting show last night. We talked about vampires, werewolves, lizard people, demons, and then we got to talk to a demon. And we'll leave it at that. We'll leave it at that. But Donna, so you turned us on to our special guest for tonight. He's a good friend of yours.
Yeah, we've been. He's got a really good story. He's been coming here for many years, and he actually has his show is on Discovery Channel, and he's hunted by Bigfoot and terror in the woods. So he and he's got a lot of really great evidence. Some I was with him when he got, and some before. So he's a good guy.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Let's bring him on. Everybody, introduce Mike Willard. Hey there, Mike.
Hi, Mike. Hi, Mike.
How you doing? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, buddy, it's our pleasure to have you here. You know, I wish I'd have had to messed up and I'd have got you last week, but like, you know, me and Patricia work these two schedules together, and I'll be telling somebody, yeah, I can get you on the such a date, and then I'll tell Tricia, and she's like, oh no, we've already got that one scheduled, and I'm like, oh man. So it was a mess, but luckily you were free tonight.
Yeah, no problem. I mean, as crazy as work has been, it probably worked out for the best anyway.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, it's been really crazy. And next week, I'll be gone for the show next week. I'll be squatching. And so Trisha, it'll have Trisha and Randy here, and well, the rest of the crew. But Trisha will be producing the show for the first time, and we're going to have one of Randy's buddies on here next week. So it's going to be a pretty good show. It's going to be a pretty good show. So Mike, tell us a little bit about yourself. You know, what you got, what made you get started into squatching and stuff like that. And like I told you in the green room, you can work your way up to what you're doing now, because I know you're doing some exciting stuff. And
okay. All right, just I watched all those shows. Anything, back then there wasn't a lot. So if something came on that was about Bigfoot or UFOs or Loch Ness or Bermuda Triangle, you watched it because there just wasn't a lot of that out there then. And I watched all that, was interested. Didn't think anything was in Ohio, just because I never thought Ohio was wooded enough for Bigfoot. But I don't know, about 20 years ago or so, on my local news, Channel 7, they had they mentioned a Bigfoot sighting in Ohio. And at that point, I laughed. I thought it was crazy. I thought that person was probably drunk or, afraid of their own shadow. It was probably a deer. And but it kind of ignited my curiosity, and I typed in 2 words on the internet. Typed in Ohio and Bigfoot, and I stumbled into a few websites, and then one of them caught my eye. It was a BFRO site, and I clicked on that. Then I clicked, there's a map of the United States. I clicked on Ohio, and I expected to see a report or two, but hell, this thing dropped down to reports by county. And I was, not expecting that. So I click on the counties, that I used to live in. I'm a delivery driver for UPS. Clicked on counties I go to frequent, and I started reading the reports. And, a lot of them, I'm laughing, and I'm thinking, I don't know what you're drinking, but you need a switch. And, you're probably an idiot or, afraid of your own shadow. And, but there was a few stories that kind of struck me. And the biggest one was probably a guy that had a German Shepherd, 5-year-old male German Shepherd. I grew up with a German Shepherd, and we had her 17 years, and so I'm partial to him. And he said he didn't know what was in his backyard, so he didn't even claim Bigfoot. But he said his dog, came through the door to get back in the house. So the inside door was open, but the outside door was all glass, and the dog came through the glass to get back in the house. Ran to the furthest point away in the house, curled up and peed itself. And those dogs do not do that. And that kind of struck me. And then there was another one about a lady walking along the river. This is north of Tip City. There were some whistles going back and forth. She assumed it was somebody fishing, messing around. She had her kids with her. But what worried her, she taught music. She said the whistles went so high up in octave, she said a person couldn't do that. Her little boy supposedly seen it, had to have therapy. She said she'd never go into the woods again. And I had a hard time with that one at first, just because I thought, it's only like 10 miles from the freaking airport, So I decided to go there at that time, just for the S and giggles of it all. And I was married at the time. I took her cousin, his name was Paul, and we walked down in there, and had a copy of the report, and I was just going to be able to tell my kids someday, hey, I went to a spot where there was a Bigfoot report, one of them deals. And walked back in there, and I seen weird stuff that didn't make any sense to me. I've seen storm damage trees and stuff like you probably have, but there was some weird stuff with the trees, how they're bent, snapped, and I'm like, well, that's odd. How did that get snapped and the rest of this is all intact, And then just the overall feeling of being watched. And this is during the daytime, creeped me out. And I'm like, okay. And anyway, trying to make a long story short, I decided to kind of peek in to Bigfoot in Ohio and start reading everything I could find on the internet. And I didn't think this was going to take long because I was seeing a lot of blurry pictures. Some stories that I thought were crap, some that were, kind of spooky. And but I didn't think it would take long. I thought this would be open the door, stick my head in, okay, I'm done, shut the door and move on. And that's not what happened. I looked, and the more I looked, the more I found. Did not expect that. And that led me to meeting some people through the internet, Mark Mills and Mike Feltner, and started going. I got to back up here. Sorry, Dan Mosier had a website, and he introduced me to a guy named George Taylor who took me out during the daytime. We'll call these guys the Day Stalkers, and he took me to a local park that I'm going to go ahead and name Charleston Falls, and we walked the park, and then we went off the trail, and then he showed me the tree structures, the bent, the limbs snapped and all that. And there's a tree in that park that they took all the limbs off of, and they bent it and they drove it into the ground like the St. Louis Arch. And I went and looked at, I walked all the way around it. There was nothing pinning it down. That didn't make sense. And he's showing me all this. He showed me the difference between storm damage and unnatural damage. And of course, I work at UPS, and I'm getting ribbed, and they're like, "Oh, that guy's, showing you that to freak you out." And, of course, one time we're at that park, and something literally shouted at us. We walked up a dry creek bed, did some whistles, a wood knock, went back to the trail, walked the trail the rest of the way through the park, and something shadowed us. And of course, my people at work are saying, "Oh, he had that. They did that on purpose to scare you." And I'm like, "That's possible, but I'm a truck driver. I don't work for the newspaper or the TV station. Why go to that length to trick a truck driver? I mean, come on, So I did a test. I waited a few weeks, and I decided to go over there on my own. Didn't tell anybody. Only God knew I was going over there. Called in sick to work. This years ago. I can't do nothing about it now. But and I went over there, and I hiked the trail normal. And then I went around again, went up the dry creek bed, did the same thing, would knock, some whistles, went back to the trail, hiked the park, was followed, shadowed. I could see something dark, couldn't make anything out, but something, like you're walking along and you stop abruptly, and then this thing takes one more step. So either there's something there, or, these people that fake Bigfoot evidence have someone that lives in the woods in case somebody comes by to go Bigfooting or check for Bigfoot. They're going to have somebody on call 24/7 there. So, I mean, law of averages, there's something there. And like I said, the more I looked, the more I found. Through the internet, it mentioned some people. A lot of the people were out of state. Mark Mills was in state, down in Trenton, Ohio. So I contacted him. He invited me out. That's how I met the co-founder of the Ohio Night Stalkers, Mike Feltner. He's since retired. But they invited me out on a night hike, and this is probably 15, 16 years ago. We went to East Fork State Park, and we hiked back in there. And I'm still on the fence, because I've seen a ton of blurry pictures. I've read some really fantastic stories, some believable, some not. But this was my first night hike, and I thought, okay. So we hiked back in there a couple miles on the horse trail. It's October. It's rainy. It's like 40 degrees. Not a nice night. And I'm along for the ride. I'm like the third wheel here. These guys would knock. They do howls. Nothing happens. We sit there for a while, probably a couple hours. Rain picks up a little bit. And they're like, okay, let's get out of here. Nothing's happening. And we go to leave. And I'm thinking, hey, this is great. I've went on my first night hike. Looks like everything's going to be good. I'm going to survive and be able to check that off the bucket list, And something I never thought I would do is go into the woods at night. And 5 or 10 minutes into that walk is where things really changed for me. I'm on the fence at this point as far as anything being in Ohio. I thought Pacific Northwest, British Columbia, upstate New York, yes. Ohio, don't know. Don't feel that way anymore. But a few minutes into that walk, something threw a rock at us. And not just a little rock. And, when little rocks bounce off trees, they make a certain noise. When it's a big rock, when it hits a limb, it doesn't bounce off, it snaps the limb. That's a different sound. And that's what this rock was doing. It was snapping limbs. It hit the tree next to me with a lot of force, bounced off, tumbled end over end. And at that point, I was like really kind of freaked out and really alarmed. And because, we had quite a ways to walk out of there still. And I was really worried because I was in the back of the line. And anybody out there that's watched a horror movie, you know what happens to the dude in the back of the line.
Oh, yeah.
On, and so and we start hiking out of there, and we get to a point where the woods are right up on that trail, and I thought, oh my God, this is an ambush point. This is where I'm going to get it. I'm not going to see my son grow up. And had another rock thrown. It sailed over our heads. We're ducking down. It snapped in branches. Same thing, different direction. And at that point, I didn't think I was going to see my kid grow up. I said the Lord's Prayer under my breath until we got off of that trail onto the main trail. And I kind of retired right then and there that night. That was too intense for me. Didn't expect that. But I had all winter to think about it. And I thought, darn it, there's something there. I want to know more what's going on. But a 3-inch knife and a walking stick weren't going to cut it anymore. So I did get my concealed carry permit. But, and kept researching, and lo and behold, we used that BFRO website and started driving Adams County, Ohio, and Scioto County and Brown County, and we found some interesting areas, and one of them which dead ended into a graveyard. And I'm like, hey, we got to go look at this. And this is 2014, and we drive back in there during the day, and it was creepy during the daytime. So we're like, oh yeah, we're coming back here at night. But we had to wait out the rain, of course. Ohio and rain both have 4 letters. That is not a coincidence. But so we did. I hope I'm not, jumping too much ahead. But
No, you're fine.
That was October 11th, 2014. Now the TV show, it's Terror in the Woods on Travel Channel. Then it was These Woods Are Haunted on all these other channels. Same show, different title. But they portray us going out. They took some liberties and got some stuff wrong, but they kept it serious is what we were really happy about. But they had us out there during the daytime doing stuff, and we went out during the daytime to see what we were getting into. I like seeing the terrain. During the daytime, I want to make sure no one's living back in some area and get shot, all that kind of stuff. And so daytime was recon, nighttime was the real thing. And it was probably 10 o'clock at night when we got to the first spot. But we recorded a recording there. Sounds like a young one responding. And then we drove. This road is probably 4 or 5 miles long. Dead ends into a graveyard of all things. And it's very hilly, very curvy. Got to have a 4-wheel drive to get back in there. And we had a lot of stuff happen that night at the graveyard. Couple recordings from there. The bad thing is we were so excited, kind of talked during them, which is not, you don't want to do that. Messes up
Mike,
the recording.
Was that in 2014?
Yes, it was.
Well, I have that recording. So
go ahead.
Wow, man.
Yeah, there's a coyote going off with it, but there's 2 different things there, and the other thing is not a coyote.
Yeah, that's not a coyote I heard.
Yeah, I recognize that other sound.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's not a coyote for sure.
No. The next one, I'll get into back in the story. The next part, find the one that says Ellis Baboon. Have that one ready. Have that one?
Yes.
Okay. That's everything that happened at the graveyard. We waited like another 40-some minutes to see if anything else would happen. It was just like a switch got thrown. It went dead quiet. So, one way in, one way out of this place. So we start our way out. We stop at a place we call the bridge. There's a little metal bridge there. And at this location, we got this thing. What we didn't realize is they had actually were following us, that night and getting closer each time. And this one, David Ellis, he's a professional sound analyst from Washington State. He's analyzed mostly about all this audio by now. He said, I can't say it's Bigfoot. It's not been certified, but he goes, I can say that it's no known animal in North America, which means it's not a deer, raccoon, fox. It's not a person pretending to be something. And he said, the next one you're going to play, he said, on the spectrograph, pegged higher than a baboon.
Wow. And yeah, I'll turn it up here and play it.
Oh, sounds like music.
Yeah, that thing, David subdued the coyotes, but you could still hear them because they were going off. I think they have a shark remora kind of relationship or something going on, scavenge off each other. But he looped it like 3 times. That's why it repeats. David Ellis, so easier to hear. But at the end of that, he's actually mimicking the coyotes.
Yeah.
And Mr. Skeptic, that pegged higher than a baboon on the spectrograph, that's evidence whether you want to believe it or not, because that was recorded in Adams County, Ohio.
Yeah, it's a good recording, that's for sure. But you've been known to get a lot of good recordings and stuff like that, from what I've read. Your recordings, a lot of people have a lot of respect for them.
Well, it's got about 12 years worth, probably. Been really fortunate. A lot of times we go out, nothing happens, but we kind of try to hit areas we haven't been in, because that I'm always excited for the first time in a new area, because maybe no one's did anything like that in that area, and if we do something, you might get a reaction. So so a lot of luck.
Yeah, we went in October to Land Between the Lakes in Kentucky, Tennessee. And have you been down there?
I've been by there. I have relatives in Tennessee.
I'm telling you, man, like I had 2 encounters there with Sasquatch. One was visual for me. Seen it walking plain as day. Got all excited, fumbled my camera, couldn't get my camera going, my cell phone camera. And I was standing there talking to this gentleman and missed it. But we were able to track it down. Well, not track it, I paralleled it coming across in the hollow. And Trisha smelled it. Was putting off an odor that made her sick. What'd you say it smelled like, Trisha?
Like sulfur. And there wasn't no septic around, so I know it wasn't like an old septic or anything, but it was like a sulfuric egg with like a metallic copper mixed in with it. It wasn't a good smell at all. It made me put about a mouthful of these in my mouth to keep me from throwing up.
But when we tried. Go ahead, Trisha. Sorry.
When he saw that on the side, it would have been to the right of me, he saw it walking down the ridge towards me and Cindy. That whole time, we just heard something heavy just walking through the woods, stepping on branches, breaking them. It was loud. It was really loud. But we never saw anything until a little bit later.
Yeah, what we and I don't want to take up your time, but I wanted to share this story with you. It I paralleled it coming down the road. I could hear it down in the holler, and I'm trying to get video of it. And I have video where I'm trying to catch it, and I seen what I thought was it at one point. Then, like I was trying to get my camera to zoom into it, and lost it, completely lost it, never seen it again. So I went down. I met up with Trisha and my wife Cindy, and we walked back down. Well, the road splits, it forks, and it goes to the left, which that holler that it was in would have come up to that road. So we're standing there. We walked about 65 yards or so into that road, and I see movement. I just happened to catch it up on the ridge above us. And about the same time I seen it, Trisha seen it. And I seen something large and black moving behind a tree. So I get my camera on it, and I'm paralleling it the road, trying to get a clear shot on it. When in my frame, I see it move, and it was playing peekaboo with us out from behind this tree. And I have it on video, and in that video you can see it. You can see it turn in the video. But I was filming with an iPhone, and it don't have the best zoom to it. And it was 65, 75 yards up onto the hill from us, above us. So it looked kind of small. Let's see here. I think I have a picture. Don't know.
So, Mike, how long have you been doing this?
Wow. Since maybe 2006 or so.
Okay.
There you go, Mike.
Okay.
Let's see. If you can see on these.
Yeah, I can see something behind there peeking around. Yeah.
You see the two separate. It's the same thing, but you see the two separate poses there.
Yeah.
Yeah, one's traced and one's turned.
Yeah. Well, I picked that up on camera, and and stuff, and like we seen it. That was our 4th day in there. But on our 2nd day, I was in this holler, and I have a video on my YouTube where I went up into this holler, and I've got my camera, I'm filming, I'm stopping. I always walk 25, 30 foot, and I stop and I look all around. I'm listening for, noises, any movement. And that's how I go in. So it takes me forever to go in anywhere. And I get into where there's a bunch of down trees, man, and I get that feeling like I'm being watched. And I even say something in the video about there's nothing moving. There's no birds, there's no bugs, there's nothing, no squirrels, nothing. And I start getting knocks. And they're in the video. And so as I'm walking out, I turn my camera in selfie mode so I can film behind me, and I'm talking to the camera and walking out. And I'm getting knocks behind me back to my left. Well, I send the video to one of our guys, and he calls me. He's like, "You have movement over your left shoulder."
Oh, wow.
So we go back to the video, and I know this show's about you. I'm sorry, but I like sharing my story.
It's about everybody. It's about everybody.
We go back to the video, and you see this black in here?
Yeah.
Let's see. You see it in there behind the trees? If you look to the center screen up. Can you see it?
There's something dark in there.
Yep. So, well, that whole time on that video, we caught that. That's a screenshot from the video. We caught that because in the video, you see its foot move. In the video, you see it move its foot. not very far, but it's enough that it moves it, and that's what gave it away. So my wife, when we went into the holler, everybody went up to the right, and I went to the left and followed this old a game trail on this old dry creek bed, and because I like walking the game trails because that's where the food is. And so my wife had went up the other way, and when they were coming out, she's taking pictures of this holler, and because she had seen me down in this holler, so she's taking pictures. Well, in that picture, can you spot the Sasquatch? Well, you're on your phone. You probably can't see it.
No, not on the phone, no.
It's right directly in the middle.
If you look center screen and you go up just a little bit, you'll see, let's see here. You'll see this boy.
Okay.
She got a picture of the backside of it where it was watching me, and it didn't know she was there. It didn't know she was there because she's over on the sitting on the side of that bank just taking photos. So, I mean, it was an interesting time. But man, the Sasquatch are just thick in there. There's 170,000 acres.
Oh wow.
And it's a peninsula, so it's surrounded by water, you know, and it's dogman too. That's the dangerous part. There's a lot of dogman in there. And
A lot.
we got dogman photos galore that we took. So, but hey, not to cut you off from your story, you go ahead and continue, my man. I apologize. But I'm talking about this stuff because, man, we had an exciting time in there.
No, we're all in this together, so there's no, you know.
Mike, have you ever come across any large footprints?
Yes, in Clark County, Ohio, by accident, I crossed over a dry creek bed to look at something else that caught my eye, and as I was crossing the creek bed, they were in the creek bed, and I couldn't believe it, and I took pictures of them. But
did you measure it out or anything, or no?
No, not then. And then we found some tracks at the cabin we stay at. It's close by to Donna. There's some tracks at the cabin this year, and I had posted them early in the year, and a lot of negative people. Oh, where's the other foot at? I guess it's a one-legged Bigfoot. No, posted the picture of the best track. You know, the other ones were more kind of where it walked the line between the vegetation and mushy kind of moss-covered dirt. There was also a gravel pathway there, so those were kind of more scuffed. So I posted the best picture, and of course got crap about it. But but
people don't understand. He could have 50 footprints, and maybe only one is worth trying to see.
Yeah, and I figure I'm not going to post the pictures that aren't that great, But I got all this, one-legged Bigfoot, all this. And I'm like, you want to slap people sometime, You
got a one-legged Bigfoot he eats at IHOP.
That's right.
Mike, we've got a question in the chat here. It says, you say you're excited about going into new areas. Is there any criteria that you usually use to choose areas to check out?
Yes, I have a topographical map. I look for waterways and in the summer, spring, when you have a lot of rain, all the tributaries got water in them. In the summertime, that kind of dries up, and you got to know where the full-time water sources are that aren't stagnant. But water, and we look for the most gnarly places to get into for us, because we're figuring they're going to go to where it's hard for us to get into. So we go to those places and try to get in there, because we think that's where they're hiding at.
Yeah.
So if it's hard for a person to get into, that's a good thing.
Cody here says it's kind of odd not seeing you in sunglasses, Mike.
Hey, I can put them on. Hey, I'll be right back. Hang on.
Oh, God. Now you got him started. Oh, no.
No, it's running.
While Mike's getting his sunglasses, let me shoot a little commercial here real quick. Advertising here. Yeah. That's our new hats, man. They're just dropping.
Cool.
And people, if you want a hat, our email address is right there in that ticker. So monsters.unleashed25@gmail.com. There's the man. There's the mic.
Where's the shade?
It's a running joke. These are actually prescription and bifocal because I'm old, and usually I don't like taking all my glasses with me, my regular eyeballs, because I don't want to lose something. So if I go to an event or something, I have these on, or I'll put them up on my head, and when I take pictures, I put them on. Like Lyle Blackburn has his signature hat, and King Gerard has a signature hat. But I guess the sunglasses are my look. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, Cody says that's better.
We can tell him what Cody's signature is.
Are we able to see TikTok comments? There's been a few. There's
No, you'll have to read those off, Trisha. I'm sorry. For some reason.
Well, we just have one for right now. Dana Lynn says hello. So hello, Dana. We want to let TikTok know that we can see them too.
TikTok is new for us. This is our first stream on TikTok, but we welcome everyone. You can also, the TikTok people can also see our shows on YouTube and on Twitch. So, I mean, I don't know if you have those platforms or not, but yeah, the
Twitching.
we try to get our shows out there. They can also see our shows on Channel 12 TV network, and which is a subscription service. It's a completely different show. Well, it's still Monsters Unleashed, but we record a entirely different episode for Channel 12 TV, and and it's $9.99 a month. No contracts. If you don't like the programming, you can cancel. And that's Channel 12 TV Network .nowcast.cc. You can go in there and enjoy that. And there's not only my show, there's a lot of shows. You have Tracy Jones, the Paranormal White Witch. You've got the NCI, North Carolina Investigates. You've got a bunch of good programming, movies, old cartoons. When I say old cartoons, Mike, it's the cartoons we grew up watching, man. It's before cartoons were woke. We got Bugs Bunny and all that good stuff, so stuff that was so violent. Have you ever thought about that, Mike?
I don't know.
Gary, trying to kill this mouse.
I love Johnny Quest. Do you remember that one?
Yeah, man.
Especially the episode where the thing was invisible and they poured paint on it to get a look at it. I love that's my favorite Johnny Quest episode.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the Super Friends?
Oh yeah,
where they were actually
Doom and all that. Heck yeah.
Well, but they actually had Bigfoot on there attacking all these people.
I never saw that.
I'm too young. I don't know any of these.
Yeah, it was a bunch of Bigfoot, and they were grabbing people and making them slaves to work in these mines. Yeah, and they were turning people into Bigfoot. Yeah, I saw it the other day. I'm like, I don't remember this Bigfoot.
So you have another question here, Mike. Says, how many different species of Bigfoot are there, at least in Ohio? One, or are there others?
Wow, that's a good question. I'm not qualified to answer that. Jeff Meldrum, who's not with us anymore, might be, would have been a lot better person to ask. I will say that that's a good point to bring up. When I first started doing this, the one thing I noticed right off the bat is the Bigfoot in the Pacific Northwest was bigger, more robust, a little bit darker in color than the one in Ohio. And then if you go down into Florida, you got the skunk ape, and that one more reddish brown and not as robust, smaller. And look at the Boggy Creek movie poster, how that creature looks. That scared me to death as a kid, by the way. My mom took me to see that, but that creature is built to navigate a swamp. So this creature, even just across the United States itself, changes in size, shape, and color to fit its terrain. And that would happen naturally. And to me, that's evidence right there. If Bigfoot was a cookie cutter, one size, one shape fits all, that'd be a red flag. I'm not sure how many different ones are in Ohio. I used to think we used to sit around and talk and think maybe, do they migrate? Do they get the hell out of here? In the wintertime? I don't think so. Meeting Donna and talking to her, there's quite a cave system in Adams County, and some of those caves were large enough to be used when the slaves were, getting out of town and gaining their freedom. And they don't have to go anywhere in Ohio. They can go underground where it's constant temperature. And but I'm kind of getting off on a different thing there. But there's probably different subsets. I don't know. I mean, I don't know, but that's my guess.
Oh, I think there's different colored ones, different size ones, like we are people. I mean, they're all pretty big. But isn't Ohio the Yahoo Man and the Grass Man?
Yeah, the Grass Man is more. That's more from northern Ohio, and that came from shelters they found that weren't just like limbs and branches, but they like that. A lot of that tall grass was kind of brought up and shoved into that to make that like a grass igloo. I mean, that's maybe a bad comparison, but that's how that name. It's more for the shelters that they found than the actual creature itself.
Right.
In that area, because that's what it had to work with.
Well, Mike, you was talking about the different species, the different types of Sasquatch. It just goes to show when you look at white-tailed deer that the different parts of the United States, the white-tailed deer are completely different. Some are smaller, like in Florida, the white-tailed deer are a lot smaller than they are even in Georgia. But they're still white-tailed deer.
Right.
West Virginia, there's some monster bucks come out of West Virginia and Ohio too, but you go into Virginia, the deer are not quite as big, and it's kind of weird. It's like they change in sizes and all that stuff. They're still white-tailed deer. They're just different sizes. They've developed, like some bucks. Like here in North Carolina, we got some monster deer down here, just like you do in Ohio, where there's more farms and stuff. There's plenty of corn and soy and stuff like that. But when you get into West Virginia in the mountains, there's not as much, but there's a lot of acorns and stuff up there. In Florida, there's not anything but swamp.
Have you ever seen the deer in Key West?
Yeah, with a drink in his hand.
The cats are bigger than the deer. They're only about 2 foot tall.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they're tiny.
Look them up, and they're white-tailed deer, but they're only look like little cats, but they're deer, and they're all over the place.
Yeah, they're like little pygmy deer.
Yeah.
But they're kind of cute. You want to take one home with you.
Yeah.
But that's evidence, the thing changing to fit its terrain and food sources, that would happen naturally, and that's another check mark for Bigfoot being real.
Mm-hmm. And I've been told that the Sasquatch in Washington State and Oregon and stuff like that, those boys get a lot bigger than the boys we have over in East. Over here in the East.
I would agree with that. That's I don't know if you've been there. I've been to Washington and Oregon, but like the trees we have in Ohio aren't really trees. You go out there, they're twice the height, and they go on forever. And you would have to be bigger and more robust to survive in that. And I totally agree with that.
Yeah. So I mean that's evidence there too, that just throughout. I mean, and that goes for a lot of different animals. Animals change because of their environment.
Yep.
And so I would say that there's a lot of different species throughout the United States. I want to say species. I want to say different variations, subspecies, we'll say, of the Sasquatch throughout the United States, just depending on the environment, what type of foods they have, and what type of shelter they have. Yes, Randy?
I have seen so many different pictures of Bigfoot's faces here lately. You got some that look like Ewoks, real fine fuzzy faces, where everything's fuzzed out on them, eyes, nose. Then you get the other ones with the long dreadlocks. Then you got the other ones that got gorilla-looking faces. You know, so I believe, truly, I believe, I've been doing this a long time. There are different, like people, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Mike, you got some more interesting sounds here. I got this one, Whistle Rock.
Yeah. Normally I can't whistle worth a darn.
Oh, shit. They don't like that. All right, all right. What was that? That was a rocket rolling. Did you see anything? Nope, I only seen the bird. It hit the ground and rolled.
It threw a big old rock at you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
normally I can't whistle worth a darn, and somehow I was able to, whistle and go up an octave, and they did not like that, and they threw a rock and hit my Jeep. That's from like 2 or 3 years ago. We had went into this area, and we had noticed, we had looked at it years prior. Didn't seem like anything was going on back in there. It's kind of a dead end area, and then went in there and noticed they had tried to take a tree down and bring it across this road and like block it off. It was so weird, but a couple other trees caught it and you could drive under it. So we went back in there, but we think they were letting their young ones kind of roam in that area.
Mm-hmm.
Cody has a call blaster. Before, in years past, we would knock, whistle, or do our own howls. And this call blaster has real animal sounds already embedded in it. And we call blasted, we'll call blast deer in distress, just different sounds. But we call blasted a wolf howling. And that seemed to create some panic. And we got a return, like what I believe is a young one in distress that first time we did that there in that area.
Mm-hmm.
And this thing sounds like a gibbon monkey, and it comes across the ridge and then goes quiet. And then all of a sudden, 20 minutes later, we start getting bombarded with rocks. I mean, there's other rock recordings I didn't send you, but that's from that area probably the next time we went out. And it got so bad we had to just quit going there, because before, I've had rock stone before, more of a, hey, you might want to think about leaving. They throw the rock in your vicinity. But no, those 3-4 times we went in that area after call blasting and spooking the little one, I believe, every time they threw rocks, they hit vehicles, just about. I mean, they cracked Mike Feltner's windshield. They hit my Jeep several times. And
didn't you have a window busted in your Jeep or something?
Actually, this is going to sound crazy, and I'm not saying to think through it because it's seen my moonroof open, but I left my moonroof open, and the rock they threw came through that opening and hit my dash, put a gouge in the dash. And this rock actually had like mud. It was like a rock with a mud outer casing. And it was like shrapnel. When it hit, it exploded. I was actually looking down at my phone. I was trying to text Jeff Byers, the Preacher Replica, because he wanted to know if we were having any activity. And I'm trying to do that. This thing comes in, hits, explodes. And I hear the sound, and I shut my eyes instinctively, and I'm thinking that was my windshield that shattered. I'm thinking, oh, great. And I waited a couple seconds, opened my eyes, and I looked at the windshield. It's intact. I'm like, okay. But there is a cloud of dust in the air in the Jeep. And it hit the dash, put a gouge in it, and when it exploded, I had call blasted some sounds off through my radio in the Jeep, through the speakers with the doors open, and it hit that auxiliary plug-in and bent that so violently that it messed up the inside the radio itself, and I couldn't even use it anymore. But and I still have that rock. When I do my presentations, there's a picture of that rock in my hand. I still have that.
Speaking of rock being thrown, I had a rock thrown at my Jeep today, and it's got a nice dent on the corner of the hood from it.
Imagine telling your insurance company the Bigfoot threw a rock at your Jeep.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, that's pretty. Trisha, I was worried about her because when we were in the LBL, we were coming out of Red Hollow, and she decided to take her moonroof off. So they're riding out, and she's blasting different music and sounds and stuff from her stereo system. puppy. How are you?
I come out of the LBL blasting werewolves in London. And I was trying to piss this dog man off. I wanted to see it up close. I wanted to be face to face with it, but
Tell
I
that.
guess God told me, no, you're not gonna do that. So he deleted the song, just vanished off my phone.
Yeah.
So there that went.
Did tell
You know, little things in the woods just to try to draw something out to see. And I've seen a lot, but I want that up close and personal encounter. I can see him in the trees and behind bushes all day long. No, I want right here.
she thinks
One
she
day,
does.
I think I do. I'm telling
Be careful
myself.
what you
Yeah, that's what I just told myself today. Careful with what you
Go
want.
out there with a lawn chair and open it up and sit down there and say, okay, Bigfoot, here I am, buddy. Come on. Let's chat.
I'm
I just want
I'm interviewing a guy tomorrow that heard some noises up in Russian Creek, which is where we got the movement of that Sasquatch up there. And he's going to take me to the exact spot he was camping, and we're going to go in there one evening and spend the night in there and just sit there and watch and observe. Not going to do any calls. We're just going to sit there and watch and observe.
Now, I found this picture here on a Facebook group, so I don't own this picture. But can you see that, Mike?
Yeah.
Look at that dog man. That's an amazing picture. The people that posted it thought it was a Sasquatch.
See, this is where you're not going to like me.
You think it's a Sasquatch?
Yeah, I am so sorry. I apologize ahead of time, but I am not on board with Dogman. I believe Dogman is misidentified Bigfoot, either by the angle of the sighting. Also, I think in some areas the breeding population may be really small, and maybe they're hooking up with cousins and sisters and brothers, and that's causing some like deformity looks. And of course, this is just my opinion. I think if they have a Bigfoot body and they're able to, and I don't want that. I'm just saying if they were able to test DNA and all that kind of stuff, Bigfoot's going to line up somewhere on that tree and make sense. To me, Dogman would have to be created by man or something, because that's not a dog and a man is not a mixture naturally. And I mean, maybe it could happen other ways. I don't know, but
well, Dogman goes all the way back to the Egyptian times. There was a Dogman army of 250,000, and who's to say the military, like they did our little elephants? We got our two little baby mammoth elephants now.
Yeah.
Who's to say the government ain't teased?
That's awesome.
I've got pictures of Dogman.
As of right now, I'm not convinced. It's just my opinion. Don't shoot me.
Well, let's get you next September to come down to the Land Between the Lakes with us. You schedule a week where you can come down there with us.
Okay. Yeah,
And,
I'm retiring next year, so I'm out.
Yeah, we're going to be down there. I'm going to be down there for 2 weeks, down there camping in September, and I'd love to have you down there, and maybe you can see some of this stuff, man. Because I ain't never seen a Sasquatch that has pointy, outright ears.
Well,
And this was taken from our cameras. Look at these ears.
All I can tell you is I don't ever want. I carry because of other animals, and then you've got some crazy people in this world. I would never shoot at a Sasquatch unless I had to. Matter of survival. That's last resort. But that thing, I don't know about that.
Well, I said that too.
And I'm gonna make sure I get out of there. I'm gonna try to make sure I get out of the woods alive. But anyway,
I said that too, and Randy will be my witness to this. Earlier this year, when I did the first NCI show with them, I said on that show, I said Sasquatch. I said I can deal with that all day long. I said, But this dog man thing, I'm just not sure. I think the thought of it just terrifies me.
Yeah.
And then when we went to the LBL, when by the end of the first day, I was a true believer. It's that evident in there, Mike. It's nothing like anything we've ever seen.
Maybe it's demonic. I don't know, but I don't want to see anything like that. I'm okay with Bigfoot, but but
Well,
Well, I
Donna
agree with you. I agree with you on the demonic.
Donna has a story about the dog man, and I don't know if she's ever shared it with you or not, but how the Shawnee Indians created the dog man. Donna, if you don't care to share that with us again.
Okay, well, the legend is that way back in the late 1700s is where mine kicks in at, that um, the medicine men, the shaman, we call them bruja. When they turn evil, they're bruja. And they were doing bad things. And since our watchers are connected to our people, um, they're part of us. So theirs turned evil. And the legend says that the good shaman created the dog men to fight, help um, drive the bad ones back into the caves and trap them so they could never come back out again. And that was how what they called the dog man was created. But like I said, I can never figure out, in my opinion, because we have the dog man legacy, the dog soldiers, and those are men that are. But the shaman, when those guys goes into battle, they teeter themselves down, they fight to the death, they either die or win. That's the only way they can be turned loose. But we do have the ability, our shaman, our medicine men, our medicine women, have the ability to go out and collect herbs, and I can do it. There's plants that you can go and get that makes you, these guys are going to fight because that's what they're made for. So I never knew. Honestly, I had two different opinions about the dog man. I never saw one. The experience I told you about, that was not this last October, but the October before. And whatever I saw that day, which I still don't know what I saw that day. We came out of there. It was a place where I'd never been. And whatever that was that stood up and went into the woods, um, I still can't explain it. I don't know what that was. Except for, everybody's like, it's a dog man. The watchers, yes, I've seen them. I see them many times. I still see, that's just common. The other things, and through my whole life, I had never witnessed that. I heard the story, I also had another story of the Wendigo story that was told to me years ago. So,
I hate that.
yeah, I don't usually say that word, but um, the dog man thing, that's the legend of, how the Shawnee explained how the dog man was created. They say the dog man works. They hunt with the watchers, the good ones. There's good and bad and everything. So you have your good watchers, you have your bad. And with these things, they have a different sound. They have a different smell. So it's a lot of things that I've been taught and told. Um, but to experience them, I never experienced that until I saw that. The stories I've heard. So,
Everybody can.
yeah, the I still do I have a thing that I have to do every 7 years. I go back to that cave where this is all supposed to happen, and I go there and I do what my dad taught me to do, and I still do it because that's required of me to do. And so far, I haven't found anybody to take my place to do it for me. So all I can tell you is once you get to that location, it's a whole other different world that you step into.
Yeah, it's crazy. But Mike, I do invite you to come down with us. I'll stay in contact with you and let you know because I'll plan it a month or two ahead of time, and come down with us. And dude, I'll turn you on to the Sasquatch areas that I know about in there. But these guys, my whole thing when we went there, I looked at the guy that was guiding us, and I said, "Man," I said, "how does someone not walk out of here with one chained up every day?" Because it's just so much. It's all around you. I've never seen anything like it. These people are going in there and they're squatching and stuff, and they're not bringing anything out. We went in there 5 days, and every day we come out with some type of evidence. And Trisha has been going in there every weekend since, and she's getting all kinds of stuff. She got a really good image of one 2 weeks ago.
You got the footprint?
Yeah, yeah, I do. She got this footprint. That's a large print too.
Yeah, and
Really
I apparently did this with a shovel, by the way. I just want to put that out there. I'm so talented that I did this with a shovel.
And I'm trying to watch the comments on TikTok too, Trisha.
I am watching the TikToks, but every time I go to say that somebody says something, somebody's talking, and I don't want to be rude. But we do have a question. Is Dogman, Sasquatch, and Bigfoot all the same?
I don't think
I
so.
guess
No.
Is Dogman, Bigfoot, and Sasquatch?
All the same.
Yeah, last question.
Well, Sasquatch is Bigfoot,
Yeah. The dog
and
man.
Dogman's a whole different species because I've got pictures of Dogman
Yeah.
with his ears sitting up. You can see the long snoot on him, the whole bit. So, no, they're two different animals.
And we are asked to come. Well, I'm just going to say we are invited to come to Green Bay, Wisconsin.
I've been there before. That's a nice area.
You haven't been there for the cryptid stuff. I've been seeing some reports coming from an area close by Green Bay. Past few weeks, I've been reading a few things in that area. So who knows? We'll probably make it up there eventually. I'm just really busy with the LBL. I'm not done in there yet, and I plan on going to Daniel Boone here soon, and Mammoth Cave, and places.
So we have a question here, Mike. Have you found bones from other animals from their dinners like Trisha has found in the woods? Like we went into one holler and like this guy Mark it was with, we step in there and he immediately picks up this big deer skull, and it's 11-point buck, and that's the only bone that's there is the head.
Had a few bones here and there, nothing like, I think Russ Acord found like a kill spot where something was feeding, over the course of, time, and it was like a bone field there, nothing like that extravagant, but yeah, a few here and there.
Yeah. So
I have a little bit of bad news. My battery's down to 10%. I don't have a cord long enough to reach. So if I black out, I didn't hang up.
well, I mean, we've been going now for a little over an hour, Mike. I do have another sound here that I wanted to play.
Okay.
Because I hadn't listened to it. I hadn't really listened to any of these sounds. But this one here says it's quiet, howling, and cussing.
Yeah, there's a little bling at the end.
Oh, it was one of you guys cussing.
Yes.
Okay, I thought it was that's what you done. Make one mad and it was out there cussing you guys. Get the hell off of my grass. But well, Mike, look, it's been a pleasure, man. I'd like to get you back on the show again. And
I love that. I would love that.
yeah, I can let you know the next time we're going to have Martin Groves. Do you know who he is?
I'm not sure. It sounds familiar, but I'm not sure. I might know him by if I seen a picture, but
Just YouTube him, man, and you'll find out. He's big he had an experience in the LBL, and we're going to be having him before too much longer. And I'd like to maybe get you on the show that night as a guest or a guest host or something.
yeah,
like
that's
that,
fine.
and talk with him because you get a little bit of education on the dog man, and not only that, the Sasquatch too, because in his story, and if you listen to it, when he had his encounter with the dog man and they were trying to get the hell out of Dodge, he jumped up in the back of the truck, and when they turned the headlights on, there were 2 Sasquatch in the field in front of their truck. He said, but these Sasquatch didn't look like what everybody else ever explained about a Sasquatch. Their faces were kind of malformed and stuff like that. And so it's pretty interesting. But check him out, and when I can get him on, I'll send you an invite. I'll let you know, and you can come back and hang out with us and hear some of that also.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I really would like that, and I appreciate you having me on.
So, Mike, tell us how, if anybody needed to get in contact with you for another show, or to ask you a question, or to send you money, or anything like that, something they do that.
Yeah, I just bought a car. I need that, but no. We have a Facebook page, Ohio Night Stalkers, and anything we're going to do, we usually don't put where exactly we're going, of course, when we go out. But if I speak at a library or at a conference somewhere, I'll post it on there. If someone's interested in me speaking somewhere, they can reach me through, the Facebook, the Messenger, or just, Ohio Night Stalkers. Or if they can find Mike Miller, I know there's like 3 gazillion Mike Millers, but Ohio Night Stalkers on Facebook would probably be the best place.
Okay, yeah, that's great. And Mr. Randy?
Yes, sir.
I'll let you give him your spiel.
All right. Well, I'm Rockin' Randy from Channel 12 TV Network. I am the CEO and president of Channel 12. Some of the greatest talk shows, movies, cartoons, you name it, we have it. All for $9.99 a month. No contracts. If you don't like what we have, you can cancel at the end of your 30 days. We do have WWF wrestling from 1996 up to 2006, when wrestling was at its greatest. We also have WROK Radio FM, which broadcasts worldwide, the same as Channel 12 does. We're on Roku, we're on Fire Stick, Chromecast, Google TV, Google Phone, Android phone, and we now own our own channel for YouTube. So you can catch us everywhere and anywhere. And for $9.99, it's cheaper than buying a hamburger at McDonald's. So come and check us out. And I'll tell you what, Monster Mike here, he's brand new to Channel 12, and he's kicking the airwaves. He's giving the other teams a run for their money, and I can actually say that he is, because I am the one that looks at the ratings. So great job to Trish and Monster Mike and my little friend down there, Donna, who's so quiet, that always looks so comfortable in her living room.
Yeah, well, Donna, we appreciate having you on again. And if you want to tell them how they can contact you, ask questions.
Well, I'm on Facebook, and I have the Watchers Maiden site. You can message me there if you got a question. Actually, I just had a gentleman send me something this morning. But you all should get together with Mike, and all of you come at the same time, because we all go out together. And
Oh, yeah. Well,
you'd have
taking a week to come up with you. That's why I'm here too.
yeah.
That's why I'm only spending 2 at LBL, because I'm gonna take 1 week of my vacation and come up to your way. So
I'll take his way back in the woods.
yeah,
I'm ready for it.
That's
I'm
really
like
good.
SpongeBob. I'm ready. I'm
All right.
ready.
Well, I guess we'll call it there. Now, listen, everybody. Every Saturday at 9 o'clock p.m. we go live. So we'll be throwing it out there. So be watching for us. Set your calendars on your phone. 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Monsters Unleashed, and join us. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Please follow us on TikTok. Follow us on Twitch. It only helps us to grow and to bring more shows to you. So at that, we'll see you next week.
They're out there in the dark, waiting for us. Monsters Unleashed. Out where the pine roots twist and bleed, footsteps shake the ground beneath. Eyes in the tree line glowing red. Whispers say the lost ain't dead. Steel nerves, cameras rolling hot, chasing the truth that the world forgot.